Hello, BookTube. It's Joshua here, and today I'm wearing a hat, and also I am going to be doing a book haul. Because today my dad very kindly took me book shopping as a Christmas gift, and so I got a bunch of books. So I'm very excited to show you guys. It's a variety of genres. I'll start with some of the nonfiction that I got. This is maybe my one of my most favorite finds of today. Um, it's a book by William L. Shire titled "The Collapse of the Third Republic: An Inquiry into the Fall of France in 1940." So I'm reading. If you've seen my reading update from a couple days ago, I'm reading the Rise and Fall of the Third Reich by the same author, and I read the flap here, and this is apparently this was written some years after the Rise and Fall, and it's, I guess, a continuation in Shire's work into examining World War II. Of course, this obviously has an emphasis on France rather than Germany, but so it'll be really interesting to read the Rise and Fall and then to go into this and to continue learning. I'm actually really excited because I didn't even know that this existed. I don't know much about Shire's oeuvre. So yeah, like after I read the Rise and Fall, I think I'll maybe, depending on how I feel at that moment, pick this up right after. So yeah, I'm very excited I found this. It was just completely random. I just saw his name and I was like, oh my god, he has another book. So yeah. Um, some more nonfiction. This is a different one. This is a Library of America edition of Thomas Paine collected writings. So it has, I guess, everything. Common Sense, The Crisis, Rights of Man, The Age of Reason, plus pamphlets, articles, and letters. And maybe I'll read you the back here because I don't know much about Thomas Paine myself. This is the first major new selection of Paine's writings in 50 years, and the most comprehensive edition available. Emphasizing his American career, it brings together the best-known works: Common Sense, The American Crisis, Rights of Man, The Age of Reason, with scores of letters, articles, and pamphlets, several previously uncollected. Paine's writings played a central role in the struggle for American independence and in the democratic revolution that swept the Western world in the late 18th century. He gave new, modern meanings to words like republic, democracy, and revolution itself, while setting forth a vision of America as an asylum for freedom and democratic self-government. A profound believer in the ability of common people to reason and act in politics, Paine was the first major pamphleteer to address his writings to a mass audience. More than 2 centuries after they were written, his words are still remarkable for their vigor, clarity, and ability to inspire. So this is wonderful. This is, it was a used bookstore that I went to, and so whoever owned this previously, they put this, thing, the plastic wrap over this book, which is just awesome. I'm so happy that I found this because now I don't even have to worry about the jacket being, beat up. Although I don't really care about that, but it's just nice to have this. Also though, there is unfortunately some, I don't know if you can see, some pencil highlighting, very messy highlighting too. Like they should have used a ruler or something to do it more neatly. But it's only pencil, so it's not actually that distracting. And if I want to, I could always go through it with an eraser and clean it up. But I don't think I will. I don't really mind that much. I don't think. So yeah, Thomas Paine. Don't know much about him, and I'm really excited to read him. And I also, of course, the Library of America edition. That was what initially drew my eye. And then I saw that it was Thomas Paine, and I thought, oh, interesting. I've never read him, so good. Next book. The next two books are Steve books, or they were books that Steve recommended on his channel. I believe they're both, at least this one is from one of his legendary, 100 nonfiction recommendation videos. This is Son of the Morning Star, Custer and the Little Bighorn by Evan S. Connell. So this is mean, I believe I remember Steve describing it as like a battle where in which a massacre happened, um, between Native Americans and or between indigenous people and American soldiers, and yeah, I mean, I don't know much more about it than that, but I remember Steve recommending it. I remember it sounding really interesting, and so yeah, hopefully, whenever I pick this up, it'll be good. I don't know much more, but yeah, yeah. And this is another book that I learned about from Steve, and I believe he actually did a read along with it in his I can't remember the name of his history read along series, but yeah, this is A Distant Mirror, the calamitous 14th century, written by Barbara W. Tuckman. Not sure how you pronounce that. This book was $13, and it's almost in like brand new condition. So I'm really excited that I found this. I don't know. I mean, obviously it's about the 14th century. Maybe it's a kind of broader portrait of that century. Other than that, I don't know what it's about, but I'm very excited that I got this. You know, I mentioned in my update video that I'm reading The Rise and Fall of the Third Reich, and I'm reading history, really only for the second time in my life. But now that I'm getting into it, I'm really excited, and I want to discover a lot of new ones. And so this one and the Son of the Morning Star are I'm really anticipating those ones. So next, we can do three classic novels. This is Robinson Crusoe by Daniel Defoe. I'm reading Moll Flanders at the moment, so after that, I might want to pick up Robinson Crusoe right after. I found this this was probably only a couple dollars, but it's actually it's in really bad condition. The pages are all yellowed. As long as it doesn't fall apart on me, I think I'll be okay. So yeah, Robinson Crusoe. Also, Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens. I've never read any of Dickens at all, which is, I mean, I should probably fix that. But what I'm thinking that I want to do is just save Dickens for later. Maybe even save most Victorian writers for some years in the future, until I feel ready or until I feel like I have enough time to do a big Victorian read through. So like ideally, I would read all of Dickens from his earliest to his latest novels, and I feel like that would be a really fun thing to do. Just to jump into it. So yeah, I guess I'm kind of saving Dickens for later. I haven't read any of Dickens yet. Like I have this is the Tale of Two Cities, but on my shelf I have a couple more books. I have Great Expectations, and I don't know what else I have, but I have a couple other books. And then one more novel is F. Scott Fitzgerald's The Great Gatsby. And so this is, a book that everyone reads in school, but I've actually never read this one. So I figure it's about time that I, finally get to it. So I picked up a copy. And that's pretty much it. I've never read anything by Fitzgerald, so, we'll see. And three more books. And it's all poetry. So the first is by Ted Hughes, Birthday Letters. I've only really sampled Ted Hughes. I know that Philip at Poet Reads to Write, he mentioned he mentioned Ted Hughes to me in the comments, and I read a couple of poems by Ted Hughes in this Antaeus anthology, and he seemed pretty interesting. So when I saw this poetry collection by Hughes, I decided to pick it up. So maybe I'll read this soon, and I'll let you guys know what I think of it. And then I also got the Portable Dante. So this is, I love the Viking Portable Library editions. I read Dante. I can show you guys. I read this translation of Dante this summer, It's translated by C.H. Sisson, and that's all I've read. But I have a couple other editions. I have the Dorothy Sayers edition, and I have the Alan Mendelbaum edition, and now I have the Mark Musa edition. This also has the Vita Nuova in it as well. I was just, looking through here, and I'm really kind of pleasantly surprised at the fact that in this edition, the footnotes are actually at the bottom. So you don't have to. You're not like on Inferno in like the first like 40 pages, and then you aren't having to flip all the way to the back to read the notes on whatever illusion Dante was making. And I'm so thankful for that, because that's what I had to do. That's what I had to do with this one, and it was so annoying. So yeah, I'm glad I have this. Eventually, I want to read as many translations of Dante as I can. So this is one more to hold on to. And then one last book. All of these books were purchased at the used bookstore today. This last one I actually purchased online, and it just happened to come in today. I purchased it, I think, 2 months ago, and it might have been that the Canada Post strike delayed it, so it only came in today. This is the Penguin Book of French Poetry. It's an anthology of French poetry from the years 1820 to 1950. So this is part of my effort to read a bit more in foreign languages, in French specifically. And here, I'll read you the back. This collection illuminates the uniquely fascinating era in French poetry between 1820 and 1950, a time in which diverse aesthetic ideas conflicted and converged as poetic forms evolved at an astonishing pace. It includes generous selections of all the established giants, among them Baudelaire, Verlaine, Rimbaud, Breton, as well as works from a wide variety of less well-known poets such as Claudel and Sendrar, whose innovations proved vital to the progress of poetry in France. The significant literary schools of the time are also represented in sections focusing on such movements as Romanticism, Symbolism, Cubism, and Surrealism. Eloquent and inspirational, this rich and exhilarating anthology reveals a period of exceptional vitality. This edition contains the original poems in French with elegant prose translations below by William Rees. So, yeah, I'm really excited to get into this. This is the poetry on top, and you get the prose translation at the bottom of the page. So, very, very fascinating. Can't wait to get into this. So yeah, those are all the books that I got. Overall, very good book haul. And yeah, I'm just really excited that I got all these new books. So thank you for watching BookTube, and goodbye.